Welcome, everyone, to Healing Wednesday, the Circle of 12. I'm Lee Carroll.
And I'm Monica Morani.
Well, happy September 6th. I can't believe it's September already. Every month, we offer this 90-minute program for free on the first Wednesday of the month. Now, our Healing Wednesday subscribers, they receive a 90-minute program just like this one every single Wednesday of the year, every one. These programs feature great special guests, questions and answers, discussions, meditations, channeling, and often really weird stuff. Oh, what could that be? What could that be? Well, there's something completely brand new coming to our Healing Wednesday membership, and perhaps some of you may even be guessing what that is.
Well, I mean, did you just see what happened behind us? If you did and you've been following Cryon, well, you might just have an inkling of what it is. It's going to be very special. It's going to be once a month, and it is coming exclusively to our Healing Wednesday subscribers. After all, this free program, if you're watching the free program, is only possible because of you, dear member.
It's our way of thanking you. And if you are not a member and you'd like to know more, come and join our circle at CryonMasters.com.
The actual premiere of Healing Wednesday was in August of 2020, but our very first episode was live streamed on September 2, 2020, and that means it was done 3 years ago. I mean, wow. We are now sitting in our 3rd year anniversary, and many of you have participated in every single episode, and it is just so special to have this core group with us every Wednesday. And a big thank you to all our members, no matter when you joined. If you've come and gone, you are included in our thanks. Some of you are here for the first time, and if that is you, I would like to welcome you too, and I invite you to receive the love that is coming your way from Cryon and the soul family that gathers. We like to begin our evenings with an affirmation, and I'd like to share 2 affirmations this month that I have combined together that come directly from our Manifesting Your Mastery online course. I am so excited because this course is due to be released this month within our Chrysalis Academy. If you enjoy affirmations as much as Lee and I do, I think you will love this course. Lee and I share over 100 affirmations. We give insights on how to create them and loads more information on how to manifest your mastery. Almost all of the affirmations Lee and I present have been inspired by Cryon. And if you'd like to find out more about that course, you can go to CryonMasters.com. But let's begin with the affirmation. And I invite you to claim this affirmation as your own. You're going to see the words on the screen to make it easier for you to participate. Okay, here we go. I am always with the Creator. I have divinity in my pocket for the asking. I have the power of the universe at my disposal. I am the Master Lighthouse. Everywhere I go, I am blessed. I am a master of humanity. I am love. I am light.
I am always with the Creator. I have divinity in my pocket for the asking. I have the power of the universe at my disposal. I am the Master Lighthouse. Everywhere I go, I am blessed. I am a master of humanity. I am love. I am light.
I am always with the Creator. I have divinity in my pocket for the asking. I have the power of the universe at my disposal. I am the Master Lighthouse. Everywhere I go, I am blessed. I am a master of humanity. I am love. I am light.
Thank you again, Monica. I really enjoy beginning our program this way. And again, we want to let our subscribers know that we'll be using this same set of affirmations for the next 3 weeks.
Tonight, our question and answer portion of the program is a little bit different since we are celebrating 3 years of Healing Wednesday. I went through the archives of Cryon Question and Answers and I found an absolute treasure that I want to share with all of you. It is incredibly profound and beautiful and the most perfect way to mark this significant milestone. It's a question given to Cryon and answered by Cryon. Here it is. Dear Cryon, there is one question which no one has been able to answer for me. It is a question that has perplexed and troubled me for a very long time. It would be most appreciated if you could give me an answer that I could understand. Why is it that we are here at all? I don't understand the purpose of the human challenge. Why is it necessary? Why wear the veil of forgetfulness while in human form? Why is any of this happening at all? So really, this person is asking Cryon, what is the meaning of life? So for the very complete answer that Cryon gave, both Lee and I are going to share with you Cryon's profound response.
Thank you, Monica. Here is the answer to that profound question that Cryon gave. Dear one, this question has been asked many times and answered many times over the past years. Indeed, you ask for the meaning of life. However, it's one of the most asked and one of the most honored. We will never tire of giving you this answer. Think for a moment, if indeed you are eternal and you are pieces of God and you came here willingly, then there is something hiding, is there not? After all, why would you be here at all? Why would you have free choice to select dark or light? Why the suffering of humanity and all that strife? All this must add up to something remarkable, something hidden in the spiritual overview.
Let me ask you this. Is there anything you can imagine that God or Spirit cannot accomplish? Initially, you might say, no, God can do anything. The answer is actually this. There are things God cannot do. You see, God is biased. God is biased in love. Therefore, when there is a situation in the universe that requires decisions without any bias within a neutral playing field, God's decision would always be a biased one. However, there is a method for an unbiased test, and that is to give humans divinity in a way where they forget they are divine and to see if they can discover their own divinity. Welcome to Earth. It would be like God sent pieces of itself down to Earth with no memory of who they were and were to ask the question, is there a God?
Cryon continues. Have you ever heard the expression, the only planet of free choice? Did you wonder what that meant? Does it mean all other planets in the universe or the galaxy that they can't choose for themselves? Of course not. Instead, it means that this is the only one at the moment who can choose their vibratory level on their own with their own consciousness or level of awakening. This is the only planet at the moment with the power and the ability to, number one, recognize their own spiritual source, and number two, use that source to change the reality of Earth. And at the moment, Earth is the only planet populated with divine creatures with this task.
We have given you much information about this in the past. Go find it. It explains why ETs come and go, but do not land and show themselves to civilization. It explains why some lower consciousness ETs wish to biologically mate with you. They can biologically, but not spiritually. They can see and sense that you have incredible power. They are trying to clone your higher self, your soul, and yet they cannot. It also explains why you only have one sun. It helps to hide you to many other advanced life forms. Most planets with conscious life have binary sun systems. The odds are far greater for life to develop anywhere when there are two suns, and more potentials for life within the habitable zone, where planets exist in this life zone, which allows life like yours. You have only one sun, and it makes you far less obvious and locatable to any other life.
You can call it a test if you wish, but it really isn't a test about you. It's a test only of energy and vibration. Therefore, if you must give it a name, let's say you are in an influenced experience, not a test. That's more accurate. You are the voluntary ones experiencing Earth, and you have your divinity hidden from you. It hides from you completely as you come and go, come and go, come and go. This is also the core meaning of created equal. It means that all of you are divine creatures whose spiritual abilities are the same. It's what you do with these abilities that changes your reality and the energy of the planet. Will you awaken to a higher level? Will you figure it out that you are a part of the Creator?
And why, after a lifetime of trial, suffering and sorrow, would a human being ever come back? And yet you do. Can you explain that? I can. When you are not here, you see the bigger picture. When you are not here, you can hardly wait to return to do more, to continue the experience and help with this test of energy. Answer me this. Why did you come back this lifetime? With Armageddon looming and most Earth prophecy telling you that it was going to be the end, why did you pick this particular time to come back? Do you think it was an accident, or worse, some kind of punishment that brought you back? No. Many of you actually waited to select this exact time.
Why would you do that? Why select a time to come back where the prophecy said you might die horribly? The answer, you knew something. Many of you could hardly wait to come back and change it all. You understood that there is really no such thing as a set future. The things which are written by your best prophets are only potentials of what might happen based on when the prophecy was given. Therefore, you must understand that there is a grand secret known to all, yet well hidden at the conscious 3D level. It's about a new universe and the starting energy of it. It's about Earth providing an unbiased answer to a grand universal question, and here that question is, where will the energy settle? When the final measurement is taken on this planet with consciousness, what will be the result? Now it gets good. The final measurement was to be now. All your prophets told you so. All called your current time the end times. However, you changed things. You moved off the old prophecy track.
Now you have created something that was unexpected and out of the groove of any prophecy ever given. Go ahead and prove it to yourself. Go find prophecy that describes your current situation. You can't, but you can find prophecies that told you there might be dramatic change about now. Did the doom prophecies of the ages happen? No, they did not. This is why the magnetic grid of the planet was changed and why you now sit in a place that has the test actively going on. What happens on Earth will eventually affect life in a whole new universe. What you are doing right now is known to all on the other side of what you call the veil. This has been the reason for all the teaching and why so many right now have the same message, an uplifting one that challenges you to keep going, find solutions to the formerly unsolvable, and to actually discover your divinity. Listen, whatever energy you finally create will be one that is the template for an entirely new universe.
This is also why we speak to you about your Big Bang idea. It may have looked like a bang, but it was not. Instead, it was a universal dimensional shift or collision of sorts, where everything was created seemingly out of nothing all at once. There is a rich and vast spiritual history about how that happened and what the starting energy of everything had to be back then. You were here for that too. That's another story. Listen, the bias of God is love. As you draw into a higher vibration, this very bias cheering section that I'm part of is becoming audible to your very selves. This is why we love you so.
And so I feel that answer from Kryon is just as relevant now as the many decades ago that you gave it.
I don't think it's that cryptic now, and it was back then to me.
Yes.
Of course, I'm the channel, but now we're starting to see what's going on the planet right now is what Kryon said would happen back in 1993 when he wrote The End Times.
Yes. So now it is time for a meditation and a channel from Kryon. And I invite you to close your eyes and to ponder the statement that God is biased in love. And if you wish to replace the word God with something else that connects to you, equally powerful, we invite you to do that now. The great creator of all that is biased in love. Spirit is biased in love. My universal partner is biased in love. My guides and angels are biased in love. The unified field from which I came from and which I return to is biased in love. Whatever words you choose to use to describe an energy bigger and beyond anything you've ever been told, that energy is biased in love, and it seeks to be found and recognized. Do you wish to find it? It is simply a matter of your intent to do so, for it has hands outstretched, ready to connect with you. And from this place of biased in love, let us now receive a message from Kryon, biased in love.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. It's traditional that we often have 4 channelings of the month that somehow relate to each other. A series, if you wish. And this is no exception. One of the things that is happening on this planet now, that we have talked about would take place, is that human nature is actually changing. That's because consciousness is changing. How do you even define human nature? Well, you'd say, well, that's what humans tend to do. It's also responsible for history repeating itself because humans tend to do that. They tend to go to war. They tend to not to be satisfied. They tend to compete for resources. This is human nature. It's changing. And the change is because consciousness is starting to evolve. It's an evolvement then that we're talking about. Not an evolvement of a physical human being, but it's time for an involvement of a consciousness within the human being. What will that look like? Is it really happening? Oh, it is. You can look around you in your society, on your planet, on all the things that you get that are reported to you, and you can see it clearly. People are starting to object to things that were always the same and had been for hundreds of years. The things that your grandfather saw and that never changed are now things you're looking at and being a lot more circumspect with your consciousness. Is this correct? Is it not? And so many times you're coming up with, it is not correct, and we're going to change it. So instead of simply complaining about the incorrectness or the dysfunction of the past, or even the present, it is always now followed by action. That's the difference. You're starting to see an evolvement taking place in humanity. So the 4 channelings we're giving this month is, what are the 4 major evolvement areas that you might see? The first one may surprise you, but it's going to be the key to all the others. What is it, dear one, that besets most of humanity? What is it you come in with that you wish you didn't have? What is it that when you finally start looking at yourselves and those grand mirrors that are being given you for self-inspection, for a reflection of who you are, what are you seeing that is difficult to acknowledge? Especially for those of you watching this program who are interested in spiritual things, perhaps, or interested in yourselves, perhaps, or bettering your life. What is it that you look at that perplexes you? Almost universally, you look at yourself and you say, why is it that I don't have more self-worth? Even the one who prances around and looks so important, when they're alone, they know better. That is something that almost all of you are born with. Low self-worth. And the oxymoron of this, the thing that doesn't make any sense about this, is you're born magnificent. We've told you this. You're not born dirty, dear ones. This is a narrative you've been given. And that is part of why that is happening on the planet, that you feel such a low self-worth, that as soon as you come out of the womb, seemingly, all that you hear is not how magnificent you are, but rather it's the opposite. From so many areas, you learn you're nothing and you have to build yourself into something and you'll never be anything unless you do this or that. There's no assumption that you are any different from low going to high. There's nobody who's telling you, welcome to earth, magnificent one. Look what you've come in with. Wow. Can't you hardly wait to grow up and use it? That's not the message, is it? No. The message is that you cannot even talk to God without an interpreter, or the message is you're not even worthy to think about it. That's the message. And almost all of the cultures on the planet have that kind of a message in some form. God is great, and you are not. You come in with lifetime after lifetime after lifetime of that message being given to you, trying hard to be worthy, and of course not making it. Dear ones, it's time to shift that perception. The evolvement of the human being is one you're going to start seeing where the human understands they are magnificent. And it starts to change who they are. Not in an egotistical way. Magnificence is wisdom, it's mastery. Magnificence is compassion. That's magnificent. And that is what we have been talking about now for over 33 years. The human being comes in with divinity, and it's the task for you to find it. Well, an evolving humanity is finding it. Universally, let me tell you something that I will echo in every channel. This is not for a selected few. This is not for the religious. This is not for those who are only thinking about spiritual things and trying to help themselves in this way. This is for every single human being. They're feeling it. The earth is starting to awaken to a little more compassion. They're starting to realize, well, maybe they're not dirty at all. Maybe there's wisdom. Maybe they deserve things. Maybe there's a birthright involved that they never even thought about. The birthright of peace on earth, of living together. There's something else dysfunctional. You've always been told the more humans are on the planet, the worse it's going to get. The more bad ones will be there. What if it were the opposite? What if the more there are, the more collective consciousness understands that they're beautiful? That there is a collective consciousness that occurs because of a number of humans that says, wow, we know who we are. And it's not dirty ones. It's magnificent ones. We can do this. And they start to come together collectively, and the leadership starts to change and understand it. And they say to their leadership, we want peace between nations. That's number one. So our children will have a good time and a chance on this planet to have perhaps what our children did not, or our grandfathers did not. That's an evolving humanity, and it starts with self-worth. You're going to hear this message from me many times, and you may think you've heard it before. But each time I give a channeling, I give it in a newer energy than before. That often means there have been other doors opened that now I can speak of because you can see them. It's one thing to arrive 33 years ago and tell you you're not going to have World War III, even though all your prophecies say you are. When I told you, though, not to fear the year 2000, when you were told the Armageddon was here. And all of that fell on ears that said, no way. No, we know better, because for years our prophets have been telling us this and this and this. Now you sit in this particular year, 2023, and none of those things happened. And instead, you get an awakening planet. That is a prophecy you have to look for. It's been given by many of the indigenous as they looked at the times that you were in. They looked at the layers and the phases, the cycles that happen. And this is the cycle that was predicted, the evolution cycle. Dear ones, you sit in a magnificent time of opportunity, of awakening, of love. I want you to understand that and feel that, instead of what you think is coming or what you've been told is coming. You are in control of all of it in a way you never were before. In a way you never were before. That's the empowered human being on the planet. I'm crying in love with you all for good reason. And so it is.
And following that beautiful message from Cryon, I invite you to open your eyes if you've had your eyes closed. And this next part of the program, we have a special guest joining us, another channel by the name of Sarah Landon. And I'm super excited. Many people have been asking her to be on the show, and finally she is joining us. And I want to make sure she's on the Zoom feed with us. Sarah, are you there?
Yes. Hello, Monica. Hello, Lee, and the community. I am here. I'm so excited to be with you today.
Oh my goodness, not as excited as we are. And we want to tell everyone about you who may not have heard of you, as amazing as that could be.
I get excited to have a world-class channeler on my show and your show and our show. Sarah Landon is a globally celebrated transformational leader, spiritual teacher, and channel of the Council. She has been called a leader of leaders for the next generation of teachers, way-showers, channels, coaches, and guides who are contributing to raising the consciousness and vibration of our planet at this time. She's the author of the best-selling book, The Wisdom of the Council, and her newest book, The Dream, The Journey, Eternity and God, Channeled Answers to Life's Deepest Questions, features the New York best-selling author Mike Dooley.
With over 3.5 million YouTube views, Sarah's life-changing wisdom and teachings are accessible to all who are ready to awaken to being a powerful creator of their experience. Passionate about living her highest potential, Sarah shines a light on the path for others that want to expand beyond the perceived limitations of the human experience and to be able to live as the realized masters that they are.
As the voice of the Council, Sarah's intention is to be the purest channel of their wisdom and teachings, which offer a grander perspective of what is possible for each of us and our beloved human family as we elevate our consciousness to new levels. That's exactly what we teach. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It truly is a full circle moment for me to be here with you. When I started channeling, I really had no idea what I was experiencing besides the most incredible, loving energy and the most profound wisdom. And many people that I deeply respected recommended that I check out Kryon and Lee Carroll. And I remember the very first time I heard you, Lee, and the very first time I heard Kryon, I felt like I was home, like someone else understood the wisdom that I was receiving that wasn't mainstream as it is now. And I could not have imagined at that time, come full circle, that I would be sitting here talking with you and Monica. So this is just such a blessing and a dream come true for me. So thank you for inviting me.
Oh, that is great. Thank you.
When you said home,
Yeah.
I got chills because it was that exact same energy that anyone who taps into that frequency and vibration of what you are delivering, what Lee is delivering, what all the other channels are delivering, it is that love wash.
Yeah.
It is that home. So how did you first experience that?
Well, I know we only have about 3 hours, so I'll give you the short version here. Just kidding. I know we don't have much time, but long story short, I was very spiritual as a child. I always had this awareness that there was more. I was seeking to understand and very curious. But in my early 20s, late teens, I got very involved in personal development and human potential and achievement. And I started in the corporate world. And out of the blue, a life-changing awakening experience occurred when my brother died in a car accident. He died instantly. It's the first time I had experienced that in my life. And I flew to Alaska. I was living in Seattle at the time. I flew to Alaska and my family and I walked into the viewing. And it was a very cold November day, not to mention just the heavy, incredible emotions that everyone was feeling. I walked up to my brother's body and had never seen a dead body. I was overwhelmed, to say the least. I went and sat down on a chair in the room and I could feel the heaviness, the coldness of the room. And I sat there for a few minutes and all of a sudden, this energy just started from the top of my head and flowed through my entire body. And I can only describe it as liquid love just flowing through my whole body. I was warm. I could feel this warmth all around me. I was completely and totally in peace. And I heard my brother say, I'm still here, but I'm not in there. And I could feel the reference to the side of the room that his body was in. And he said, I'm just as here as I ever was. I just left the density of the body, and I'm at a rate of vibration that you can't interpret with your physical senses. And these were not words that I was familiar with at that point in time. And I just felt surrounded in love. I asked him a few more questions. And after a while, that energy receded and I was back in that cold, heavy room, but I was still very much in peace. And if it would have been anything else, I probably would have just blown it off and said, I made it up. But I couldn't deny the feeling of love that I felt and the peace that I felt. And so spontaneously, for several months and years after that, my brother would appear. I would feel his energy. He would come through with a message, but I was very much in my corporate life. I then, in the height of my corporate career, when we had just sold our company, I was traveling the world, I would start waking up in the middle of the night. And I guess back up just a little, I had these questions that no one could answer for me. I had studied religions, I had studied psychology, I had studied metaphysics. I had these questions about how do we live our highest potential? Why are we really here? What is our purpose? How do we live it? What's really possible? How do we go beyond limitation? Much of which was inspired by things that I had read or learned as a child, but I had greater questions, or a younger person, I guess I would say. And so much to my surprise, I started waking up in the middle of the night in that same energy and vibration. And these answers started coming through me. I now know that process to be automatic writing, and we all can do it. We all can tune into that. And so I would get up in the morning and I would read what I had written and knew clearly it had come through me. Wasn't answers that I knew, but it was like I was remembering. So then fast forward a few more years, I had a spontaneous meeting of a woman who was a QHHT practitioner trained by Dolores Cannon for quantum healing hypnosis technique. And she said, I help people get in touch with their higher self. And I said, well, I think I need to talk to you. So I scheduled a session with her. And after some time of this communication with the higher self and what does my soul want me to know, this energy came forth beyond any love I had ever felt in my entire life. And all of a sudden, my voice changed. The cadence of my voice changed. The sound of my voice changed. I started speaking very fast. And she went on to ask questions to what we now refer to as the council for somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour. And when the energy receded, I was back. I was aware of what had happened, but I experienced it from such a higher level of awareness that I couldn't remember everything. Luckily, it was recorded. And I listened back, I had it transcribed, and I realized this was the most incredible wisdom. And I just wanted more and more and more of it. So she and I kept meeting weekly, multiple times a week for almost a year, and writing questions down, bringing them to the council, asking those questions. She would ask them, I would channel the council. At the time, I swore no one is ever going to hear me channel, let alone see me channel, which you get to do here shortly. And that was the beginning of the council. Now, from there, my experience truly has just transformed beyond my wildest dreams. We have a global community of people all over the world. We do courses. I've written 2 best-selling books with Hay House. We have several more on the way. It's just been the most extraordinary experience. However, I will tell you, the very, very best part of the council's wisdom is living it, and how it has changed my life and how I see it creating a better world all around me. And their messages are so complementary to everything that you both bring through, that Kryon brings through, the energy of pure love, the possibility of us living in really a dimension of consciousness within ourselves and within communities and within this world that truly elevates the vibration, the consciousness, and the light on this planet, so all beings can live in abundance, peace, harmony, joy, freedom. I absolutely know without a doubt in my mind that it's possible for anyone who chooses it. And as each one of us choose it for ourselves and create that world within ourselves, we are literally raising the consciousness and the energy on this planet such that I truly believe that this shift into pure love is absolutely inevitable. It is why we are here. It is why we chose to come. And that being said, that doesn't mean you have a job and you're responsible for everyone else. It doesn't mean that you have to heal and awaken and fix everyone. It means to come into your own awakening experience, your own realization of the truth of who you are and the potential and the possibility that's here for you to create and live your best life. And in that, you will inspire others to find that higher potential within themselves and live it for themselves too.
I think one of the difficult things when we start learning about this incredible pure love that is there, as humans, we are living out programs that we inherit. And those programs have very low consciousness thinking, such as separation from each other, such as judgment. Judgment is this really big thing in humanity where we look around and we see things and we judge them. Sometimes that's really hard for people to move into a place where everything is all love, it's all good, it's all peace, and yet not be in judgment. So what wisdom does the council share with you about the subject of judgment?
One of the things they say is it's really difficult until it's not. And so they talk about different dimensions of consciousness, and they say there is no hierarchy. It is not a better than because you're in higher levels of consciousness. It's a ready for higher levels of consciousness. So they talk about the third dimension, very much what you said, Monica, that dimension of separation where there's lack, limitation, fear, separation. From there, you begin to wake up. You step into the fourth dimension of what they refer to as transformation, where you can fix yourself, you can heal yourself. You're not your circumstances and conditions. You can change your life, you can change your body, you can change your story, those types of things. And they say one of the things that keeps people stuck in the fourth dimension of transformation for years, decades, lifetimes is judgment. And most of all, judgment about ourselves. And we don't realize that it's a habit to judge others, to just automatically respond with, oh, that's awful, or oh, that's terrible, or oh, I can't believe they did that. But I find for me, the ultimate practice has been judgment of myself. And it's sneaky, right? So when you're in this fourth dimension of transformation, anytime something happens, you're going, oh, you're taking this responsibility. What did I do wrong? How did I create this? What's going on in my emotional layer that needs to be healed and fixed? And it entangles us with constantly judging ourselves. And it is truly a simple shift to loving yourself. And one of the greatest achievements we can ever realize in our human experience is our own self-love. Where if you don't feel good in your body, your first step is love for yourself, to love yourself, to slow down, to rest, to get quiet, to ask your body what it needs, to tell your body that you love it, to truly feel love within and all around and for your body, for yourself. And it's a practice until it becomes a way of being. It's really easy to love others when you love yourself. It's really easy to let others be where they are when you are empowered within yourself to be who you want to be. It's really easy to accept others and approve of where they are or let them be where they are or love them when they are when you accept and love yourself. So it truly is an inner journey, and it's a practice until it becomes your way of being. And from there, it just continues to expand and expand and expand. Through living the council's teachings, I've just come into this level of love that I can be walking out in nature or just with people that I love, or even a perfect stranger and just watching them with love in my heart and just tears stream down my face. And I really didn't think my heart could open anymore. And 2 weeks ago, I got a puppy. And I literally find myself just watching her, and there's tears just streaming down my face because she is pure innocence. And so many times I hear her say to not just me, but when other people look at her and just, oh my gosh, she's just so precious. She's just so beautiful. She's just so pure and innocent and joyful. I can literally hear her say, I'm here to show you who you are. I'm here to reflect to you who you really are. So she's a powerful teacher, even though she's 9 weeks older.
Wow.
Absolutely. And that's why I think it's so important, even if you don't have a puppy or maybe kittens are more your thing. There are so many clips on YouTube watching someone else's puppy or kitten if you can't have it for yourself. And there's this energy that Sarah described beautifully. But before we get to the end of our conversation, I would love to have you share with us the counsel.
Oh, I would absolutely love it. How much time do we have left, Monica, just so we can make that a bit?
I think she can go for 10 minutes or so.
Would be perfect.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I'm just going to close my eyes and take a couple of deep breaths. The counsel will come in. And I don't know if they'll go the whole 10 minutes, or they might ask you if you have some questions, but you'll notice that my voice changes a little. My eyes are closed. If it feels good for you to do so, you can close your eyes as well and just really feel for this vibration. So here we go. We are so pleased and delighted to have the opportunity to speak with you all on this fine and glorious day indeed. And we tell you that our words to you are important, but this is a vibrational experience of remembering the truth of who you really are and why you are here and all that you intended when you chose this magnificent life experience, because your life is truly meant to be an extraordinary existence. You are here on this planet at the greatest time that has ever occurred in human history, during the greatest transformation of human consciousness into pure love. And you, every single one of you listening to this, are leaders, way showers, pioneers, and trailblazers into pure love. There are dimensions of consciousness that you have existed in, and there are dimensions of consciousness that are available to you now, easier and more effortlessly than ever before. We invite you into the fifth dimension of pure love, where your well-being and your abundance is assured, where what you want and need comes to you even before you know you need it. You live in harmony with life, following the energy, allowing light to guide the way, where you truly experience more beauty, more joy, more love, more freedom than ever before. It is your very destiny to step into fully living in what you might refer to as the new earth, heaven on earth, or as we refer to it, the fifth dimension of pure love. There is something within you that knows that you are here for an important reason, and indeed you are. Your life matters. You are here to live fully. You are here to love fully. You are here to be all that you are. Our most important teaching of all is this: you are everything you wish to be. You already are. You are everything you wish to be. You already are. It is all within you. It always will be. Do you have questions for us?
Yes. I would like to know how we can dissolve the barriers that get in the way of receiving even more love for ourselves?
Such a good question. First, it's important to know that you're the one that put the barriers there to try to keep yourself safe and protect yourself. When you came from pure love into this experience and then found yourself consciously or unconsciously in lower levels of vibration or lower dimensions of consciousness, you started to experience separation, lack, limitation. Others were out there and you were in here. God, source is out there and you are in here. And depending on the emotional experiences you had, you started to put up barriers to try to protect yourself. But all it did is keep you from shining your light and being the love that you are. When you step into truly loving yourself, coming into that state of pure love within yourself, finding joy and peace and harmony within yourself, knowing abundance and well-being is always available to you, knowing that it is your light that guides you and protects you. There's really nothing you need to be protected from when you are truly aligned to all that you are. But the only thing that can ever protect you is your own light. Allowing your own light. Many hear us say, allow, receive, and we'll make it very simple for you. You will know that you are allowing because the instant manifestation of allowing is joy. When you are doing the things that bring you joy, when you're focused on what you enjoy, when you're feeling joy, you are allowing. If you want to understand how to get into a state of allowing, focus yourself into a state of joy, and you will be allowing. Many hear us say, receive, open and receive, receive. The instant manifestation of receiving is expansion. When you're feeling into that state of expansion, you know you're receiving. In order to expand, you must receive. So to break down those barriers to the love that you are, allow and receive, open up and allow joy, allow yourself to do the things that bring you joy. Open up and receive and expand into all that you are. Every single one of you is so much more than you've ever allowed yourself to be. If you really allowed the expansion of all that you are, truly, you would spend each day moved to such deep levels of pure love and beauty and joy and happiness. However, the greatest challenge for humans is believing you are worthy of that joy, that love, that abundance, that well-being that is your divine, inherent birthright. One of the other reasons you put up walls is because it's so difficult to see others in such abundance and joy and freedom and happiness and well-being and prosperity, believing it's not possible for you. But nothing, dear Master, could be farther from the truth. There's nothing you could ever do here to deserve all that you are. And there's nothing that could ever happen on this planet or in your life that could threaten your worthiness. There is no need to carry guilt or shame for anything ever. You are a divine, inherent being of pure love. That is the truth of who you are. You are worthy. You are worthy. You are worthy of the joy and the love and the beauty and the abundance and the well-being that is the truth of who you are. And when we say you are everything you wish to be, you already are. It is all within you. What we speak of is that joy, that love, that beauty, that abundance, that freedom, that harmony. that peace that is the truth of you. And you will look around and you will realize there are no more barriers anymore. There is only love. Did we answer your question?
Beautifully indeed. And if someone is experiencing grief or intense sadness on the planet right now, what is the best way they can move through that to find their place of joy?
Indeed. We say that the heaviest, densest human emotions are shame and grief. And we certainly understand why you would feel grief, especially in the loss of someone or something that you dearly love. But we tell you that grief, if you really take a moment and observe it, you could not feel grief without love. We use the example of a mother or a father or a parent who has lost a child and feeling intense, indescribable grief. And yet beneath that is truly love. In order for one to move out of shame or grief, it is helpful to understand two things. Number one, you suffering in grief and guilt and heavy, dense emotions, and we say this gently, does not prove your love for that being. That being knows inevitably, eternally, the love between the two of you. That being does not want you to suffer in grief to prove your love to them. Your loved one, if they have transitioned, whether a human or an animal, or even the devastation of a particular area or tragedy that has happened on your planet, understand that there is always a grander perspective. And while you may not see that there's any gift in it in this moment, if you can allow yourself in this moment to come into a place of peace and just feel a little bit better, you will begin to open to the gifts and a greater perspective. In the moment, if you will accept what is, accept just what is in this moment, the instant manifestation is peace. If you can accept just what is in this moment, you will feel a sense of peace. We understand that most in their moments of deep grief and suffering cannot imagine any gift in that situation at that moment. That is merely because you're holding yourself in such density that you are as far from allowing and receiving, and as far from the love that is the truth, and as far from the vibration and the consciousness of the person that has, or being that has transitioned, that you aren't able to allow a grander perspective in any way. So when someone is in terrible grief because of the loss of something, they are literally holding themselves as far apart as they can possibly get from the consciousness, the love, the vibration of that being that has transitioned. The more you move out of grief into acceptance, into peace, and feeling a little bit better, you will start to feel less of a separation between you and that which you are grieving over. As you allow yourself into a grander perspective, is it possible that there's a gift in this? We give an example of a particular friend who lost her beloved son in an unexpected transition at a very young age. She came to us in incredible guilt incredible grief, unable to let it go because that would mean letting her beloved son go. And yet, over time, from her journey to acceptance, to peace, to feeling joy again, to love, to connecting to him where he is now, experiencing more love where he is now, and the presence of him everywhere all the time. She is now bringing forth messages to other bereaved parents so that they too know that their child is always with them. We would call that a gift.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We are
Beautiful,
complete.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Eh.
Well, if you enjoyed those beautiful messages from Sarah, I encourage you to look at her YouTube channels, and her website is sarahlandon.com. Again, thank you so much, Sarah. We're at the end of our conversation, but it's still holding this beautiful energy that you created. So any kind of parting words before we say goodbye?
Oh, thank you, Monica, and thank you, Lee, and your team, and thank you for letting me come and be part of this beautiful gathering and co-creation today. I feel so grateful. Thank you for what you are doing on this planet and to your community. I know every single one of you are these beings that care so deeply for others, for the planet, for living this wisdom, and just love yourself. The theme of this today, and I think what is, in my opinion, the most powerful healing tool of all is love, really loving yourself. I know in my own experience, I can look at different experiences where people have healed, and it all comes back to love. So not the kind of love that sometimes we think of, but that pure love, that pure love. And most importantly, love for yourself, because as we talked about earlier, when you love yourself, it really is easier to love everyone else. It just becomes your way of being. So every single person, you matter, your life matters, you're here for a reason. And as the council said, live fully, love fully, and be all that you are.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we are now going to take a break. And again, the energy that Sarah shared is still with me. Take that with you as you take 10 minutes and perhaps just sit and love yourself until we come back for the Circle of 12.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back. Sarah, thank you. It's always great to have other channelers on the show, especially expert ones, voice of the council, all of those things. Truly, very much appreciated. And you preaching to the choir here. You got my attention, and thanks so much.
Absolutely. And I love that we have so many of us that are awakening to the love of God that's inside of us. It's how we began the program, isn't it?
It is, and such a wonderful message as
Yes.
well. It just sounds like all of us are on the same page, actually.
I know.
think we are.
So I think it tells me that we've got this. Rest assured that humanity is on its way to being a graduate ascended planet. So thanks again, Sarah.
Wow.
And now what we'd like to do is move into a part of the program that we call Miracle Moments.
It's about celebrating the miracles of others. It's about connecting and sending love and compassion to those asking for a miracle. Pretty simple. I want you to know that the energy of compassion and prayer for others is powerful. Powerful. I personally have experienced it just recently. Group prayer works, and so does talking to your smart body called the innate. I'd like to ask Monica to share a miracle moment which has happened to one of our members.
So this miracle moment, it was shared in the membership portal. It came from Ailette, who is in Israel. I hope I have your name correct. It might be Ailette, but her story is amazing. There's many details, too many to read out the exact fullness of it, but it is possible to capture the essence of her miracle. And for those who are members of Healing Wednesday, I encourage you to go and visit the portal and read the full story that she shares. Okay, here is the Reader's Digest condensed version. Ailette says, I started listening to Cryon during COVID for the first time in my life. I joined Healing Wednesday from the very first program. At the end of COVID, I was in a very challenging period in my life where the big love I had ended by surprise and caught me unprepared. I worked on myself and I waited for every Healing Wednesday, and yet I still experienced a great sorrow that brought me back to the death of my father. I felt huge grief and sadness. I later experienced appendicitis and I went to hospital. On my way to the operating room, a more urgent emergency arose and I was left unattended. I felt I was given a second chance and I put on my headphones to listen to healing music. I imagined a gold-coloured beam of light healing my appendix. My miracle is that I ended up not having surgery, and more than a year has passed, and I've made some therapeutic cards that talk about strength, faith, light, and optimism. It's one of the gifts I received, and I share it with the world. So I feel that there's many miracles that have taken place for Ailette, moving out from sadness and grief, having the physical healing with her appendicitis, and then sharing the gifts that she's receiving with the world. And again, it's another example of the beautiful awakening that is unfolding with our brothers and sisters on humanity, and collectively we're doing it together. And the power of one, when we come together, is amplified. And so I'd like to ask you to join me in amplifying the divinity that is within us and sending it to those who are requesting prayers of help from us. And it could be for a whole range of reasons. It could be physical healing, it could be emotional, it could be spiritual. It's a whole range of ways that we request help and prayers for support. So I invite you to close your eyes and allow your breathing to soften and slow down, and focus on the energy of your heart. And just take this moment to connect in with your heart that is now synchronized with the heart of many thousands across the planet, both in this now time and in the future now time for those who join the replay. This beating hearts of many, focusing on love, all connecting, amplifying the great immense power that resides within us. And using the example from the dear one that shared her story, let us visualize a golden beam of light radiating out from our heart. And as each of us hold this visualization, all across the planet, there are multiple beams of light that are radiating out from the hearts of many in this moment, with a specific intent to have all of these golden beams of light converge and join with each other so that we can then reflect this light back onto the planet and send this golden beam of light into the heart of every person who is requesting our help. And so they now are receiving this beam of golden light being sent directly from us with our intent that they receive it. And in this beam of light is the purity of unconditional love from the Creator. And as this beam of light continues to increase in its power, this exponential power that we are generating as we continue our focus, holding that visualization, sending that golden beam of light from our hearts, let us now extend that area of where it is received to include everyone on the planet who is asking for help right now. And as we continue holding this intent to include even more into where we send this golden beam of light, let us now extend that to include every human existing on the planet right now. And you too are included. There is now an infinity loop extending out from your heart, joining with everyone else, reflecting back and flowing back into you as well, because you are included. And in this place where we now have our hearts both sending and receiving pure love of the Creator, let us hold this visualization as we move into the channel, the meditation, the circle of 12 from Kryon.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon. Come a little closer. Don't interrupt this beautiful feeling. A golden beam of light. Dear ones, do you have the power within you to cast away the things that get in the way of love? There can be many golden beams of light that shine on various areas of your life. And I'll tell you this, if you stay in a cocoon, they'll never shine on anything. Part of the teaching, part of the circle of 12, is coming out of that seeming established reality of what you call life, and coming out of that cocoon in order to receive what is actually there and has been there all along. But there's more than that. Humans are waking up. Humans are evolving, and there are so many of them that are starting their own mastery. They're having compassion. They're light senders, way showers. This is starting to happen more and more on this planet. But they'll all tell you they're frustrated. They're frustrated to have that kind of beautiful, beautiful energy to send all over the planet, and especially to you. Yet to have it fall almost at your feet, because there are so many that are not ready to receive it. The circle of 12 tonight is almost therapeutic, and it will be for the next 3 weeks. The idea is to enhance your ability to receive love. Can you get into the place where you can receive it unconditionally? Receive it. You don't have to do anything but sit and receive it. How many times have we said, Simply sit and be loved. And then that becomes difficult for so many people. They'll create 3D questions. Let me see, you said sit and be loved. What kind of love? How long do I sit? What'll it feel like? Are the lights on or are they off? This is the human's cocoon. Not being able to cast away the 3D of it all. What if you could? Let's go across that bridge, you and I, right now, that spans a reality between that which is known and unknown, or that which is three-dimensional and multidimensional, that we do every week and we've done now for 3 years. Come with me. Let's cross the bridge. Some of you feel that you float across. You don't even walk. The hand that you take of crying is the hand of all of you. It's the hand that is always reaching out to be part of you and your life, if you wish to take it. It's always there. It was there since you were born. And you go across this bridge with me and through the mist that obfuscates what's coming, and it reveals whatever it is you wish to see. Beauty, in whatever way it is that relates to you, a beauty that is magnificent, that is your soul, your home. Something that you recognize, something you feel, something you really want in your life. It's all there. It's every single kind of love that you can imagine wrapped up into your soul, and the core of which is the great love of God. The creative source, the creative energy, the Spirit, you. And I want you to go yet again through a door with me. The door has a name on it which is becoming clearer as time goes on. It's a statement of your magnificence within a name. It's a name that is written in language you cannot read, but it's an energetic language that you can feel of honor, love, that says, this is your doorway. Come on in. I want you to relax now with me, if you will, and go into a very, very large area that you can conceive of, if you wish, as whatever it is that's large. The largeness of it is a metaphor that all things are possible in this room, because the largeness is you. You own it. It's your room. And there is a chair there for you to sit in. I wish you to experience love. And the 4 weeks of this month that we will present to you this message, I wish you to experience the different kinds of love that a human can. This is more for you as a human than for you as a piece of God with God. We have done so many exercises that are outside the norm of humanism. I want to keep this one in humanism. Now, you are in this grand, spiritual, majestic place that represents your soul and the Creator itself, and yet you're still human sitting there, aren't you? So let's take advantage of that. Can you right now throw away all things that would disturb that which is love? This is the difficult part, dear one. To get to that place just for a few moments where nothing matters. Not really. Can you go there and do that? Can you have a place for yourself which is not a disturbing one? Can you suspend the issues of life just for a while? I've said it before that after this is over, if you want to, you can paste them all back on yourself. You can still have them back if you wish. But for now, put them aside. There is a beautiful, enormous gold presence in this room. Angelic it is, and it represents one entity, one angelic source, and I'm not going to give it a name. Sometimes angels are melds of energies of other angels. The angel is a human designation, so we'll keep it that way. Angels don't exist as angels, not on this side of the veil that you're on now. They exist as a piece and part of the Creator that is also part of you. And this golden entity is in the room, and it comes and puts its hands on your shoulders from the back. And you start to feel the energy flow into you that I'm going to describe now. And that energy is something I want you all to feel. And I want to describe it to you very carefully. Don't object to this energy. Don't tell me that you haven't had it or it's wrong or you can't understand it. Just listen. This is the energy of your mother. It doesn't matter who your mother was in this life. Perhaps this energy is exactly correct for you. That your mother was beautiful in every way and you loved your mother so much. And there are so many who have then problems. Well, it won't be my mother. I'll tell you this. You are an entity in this soul area that has had multiple lives on this planet, perhaps 1,000 or more of them. I'm talking about a collective mother. The one who birthed you, the one who looked in your eyes. This is a mother you either had or didn't have in this life, but it's all there in your Akash. The beauty of looking in the eyes of the one who birthed you and loves you and takes care of you all of your life. Even after you've left home, Mother is watching, Mother loves, sees you as a child all the time. So many of you are mothers or fathers. You know that feeling. But I want you to have that mother feeling right now, the love of a mother, a human mother for you, and what it feels like surging into you. Rewriting programs, perhaps, that would keep you from loving your mother this time around. But I want you to let it pour into you to such an extent that you have a sigh of relief. Whether your mother is here on this planet or not, your mother is your mother is your mother. And all of them combined, in all the lifetimes combined, have one thing in common. When you were born, you were the result. And they looked into your eyes for a moment, and there was the connection, the love. You selected them. They say to you, "Welcome, dear one. Here's where we are. I am the one you ask for. I am your mother." Feel this love that will take you to hopefully a place of peacefulness, of joy. Remember, it doesn't have to be the mom this time around. It's the collective mom that you've all had at one time or another. One time or another, you've had the perfect one. The one that surges through your own DNA. Feel that. Accept this love, dear ones. Accept it because you can. It is your birthright, literally, to accept the love of Mother. That's the Circle of 12 experience, and I ask you to stay and feel it. To stay and feel it. Don't figure it out. Just accept it. Mom is here. Mom is here for you. Nothing like it. Stay. And so it is.